Today we are going to be playing hardcore creative mode, meaning we can't be using the one thing that makes creative mode, well, actually so overpowered, the inventory. Now usually there would be an inventory here where you can get any item in the game, such as like end portal frames, eyes of ender, something that can make beating the game super easy, but we're not going to be doing that today. We're going to be beating Minecraft in creative mode without the inventory. To make this challenge actually possible, we would need to use the select block control, where we can select a block and it will immediately put it in our hotbar, meaning we can actually collect blocks. And now this challenge actually is possible. So we can get this wood, we can make it into oak planks, and now we can actually craft stuff. Now using these 4 oak planks, we can make a crafting table, meaning we can actually craft stuff, and this challenge can actually be completed because now we can use items in the overworld that we pick up to beat the game, which is our goal for today's video. But I just realized that we don't need a pickaxe because first of all we can break instantly, and second of all we can just get cobblestone. Now I am going to take some very useful items from the village, such as like maybe not much useful items, but we can still take them either way, even if they're not going to be useful. But there is also another one that we can take stuff from, and there's also an iron golem that we can get some more iron, meaning we can make our iron block. Best thing about this challenge is that it takes out all of the unnecessary grinding, such as maybe getting iron, because we can just take this iron, we can drop it, so we can place it, drop it, and then get another one, basically duplicating it. But we do have to get the initial iron block, which is still a fun challenge in itself. So we're going to be trying to beat the game even with this power. It still might be a bit challenging because we have no way to the nether, meaning we need to find ourselves a ruined portal or a lava pool. So let's begin our journey. Now, okay, so we need to find a lava pool. I could go underground, but I feel like I could find one, especially when flying, find a ruined portal. Now, since we can pick up this obsidian, we can actually create a nether portal just like this. Now, with our obsidian, since we have infinite, we can make a nether portal, get some flint from here. Even though this is free flint, without this chest, flint is going to be very hard to get because we can't really break gravel. But luckily we have some, so now we can make a flint and steel, making us able to go to the nether. But first I did want to mine some diamonds, but I soon realized that we can't really mine any diamonds. We would need to find another way to get the most valuable resource, diamonds. I think I had an idea how to find some. In monster spawners or in mine shafts, which we are going to be using, we could find ourselves some diamonds. Now, we found a golden apple, but I don't think it's going to be that much useful to us. But even though there's some stuff here, we won't be needing most of it. But that changed until I found an enderman, because enderman can drop ender pearls, which can be used to teleport around, and we can use it to craft an eye of ender. Now with this ender pearl, we can throw this infinitely since we're in creative mode. Now we finally found 4 diamonds from mineshaft chests. And using this, we can craft an enchantment table and a diamond sword, just so defeating the ender dragon can be a bit easier. Now with this enchantment table, we can get some very good enchants on our sword, but I almost forgot to craft ourselves some bookshelves, which would make the enchantment process way easier. And instead of making a farm for leather and sugar to make enough books, we can actually just take our bookshelves and immediately start on the enchantment process. And now we can actually just quickly finish this up, and we actually got a pretty good sword that'll help us get enough blaze rods and ender pearls. Now we can just continue on and go to the nether, meaning we can get all the necessary stuff in order to beat the game. And even though armor is useless, I am just gonna keep it on, because why not? Now we are entering the nether, and these ender pearls are actually going to be pretty useful for traveling without flying. Now to make this harder, I am gonna not fly as much. And it looks like I've missed my ender pearl. I have no idea where I am. So, alright, we found our way back. We can finally take out the blazes. Now these blazes, we just need a few blaze rods, and it should be pretty simple, and we can easily move on to our next part of the plan. And now we just have to wait until we have enough blaze rods. Now for my next plan, I'm going to mine above the bedrock. Since we can mine any block instantly, we can go above the bedrock, above the build limit, and quickly go to a new biome to find the bastion. Now quickly came to the bastion and finally found where all of the gold is. Now I did find netherite in a city chest, meaning I can craft netherite. And that's gonna be pretty useful, not too useful, but it can be used in the Ender Dragon battle. But quickly I found the treasure room, meaning I could get all of these valuable armors that I guess could be useful, even though in creative mode you can't take any damage, so it's not necessary, but I just decided to get armor anyways. And the cool thing about using duplication is we don't have to grind for any of this gold, because we can just duplicate it really quickly. Even when just dropping and placing it, putting your camera at the right angle, we can pick up the blocks and duplicate it really, really quickly. As I'm duping ancient debris, I could get the netherite, meaning it just might kill the dragon just a bit quicker. Now with the gold and ancient scrap that I've obtained, we can craft the netherite ingot, meaning we can upgrade our tools and armor. Now before this, I quickly decided to get in some diamonds just so I can make sure all of the things are upgraded. And now just crafting this up, I can finally duplicate everything that I need to and get pretty good armor. I didn't get the chestplate because I didn't I forgot to make enough diamonds, but it's fine because now that I have all the armor, we can actually go to the end. And now I'm realizing that we only needed one Eye of Ender, but it's fine. Now I can clean up all of this stuff, and now I am just realizing that we only need one Eye of Ender since we are in creative mode and it can't be used that much. But we still can make this dragon fight pretty interesting. Now I am going to not fly because I feel like that can make more interesting, but it is now time for the Ender Dragon fight. Now I did prepare some items. This is probably the only items that I would need. Now we can start by jumping in. Now in the end, we are going to try to defeat the dragon. Now I'm just going to bridge on over, and I do have a plan to defeat this. And it's not going to be involving that much flying. Now in the end, we need to be very careful. I mean, not really, but since we're in creative, we can just go over, not take any damage, and it should be pretty chill end fight, except when we have to damage the dragon, because we can't really do that much damage because we haven't prepared too much, but we should be ready. Now, there we go. My ender pearl landed, and now we can actually go for these next few towers. And here we go. And now we have iron bars, which is maybe cool, but we can get the last remaining pillars, and now it's only a few more left. And yeah, I can actually take these end crystals and actually use them now, which is really cool. And I could definitely use these against the dragon. Now it's time to ender pearl in and start bombing, and there we go, almost half of its HP, which is pretty good. And now it's going to run away, but we can actually chase it down since we can fly. But now we are going to use the end crystals again. Maximum damage, didn't do as much, but that is fine because we can easily finish it off in the last few. Yep. So one more time, it'll come down and we can defeat it. So there we go. Boom. We have officially beaten the game in Hardcore Creative, Day 4. So yeah, it's a pretty simple challenge that literally anybody can try, because you are in creative mode. And now we can select the dragon egg, meaning we can obtain the dragon egg. So boom, boom, there we go. And we can actually get the dragon egg in our hands and just place them infinitely. And now we have basically everything that we need. And I don't know, if we continue, will things get will it be fun? Will it not be as fun? I'm not that sure. But we have completed the game, which was pretty fun. And now we can see the end credits of Minecraft.